we call Graham Macintyre to the stage, please? Now, what an outstanding golfing career this man has had. Graham Macintyre came from that golfing hotbed, New Glasgow, and its Abercrombie Golf Club. It's produced other Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame members like athlete John Jook Monroe and builder Bob Wong. He is the 5th Pictou County man to be inducted tonight. Graham Macintyre has set standards that may get future challenges from other golfers in this province, but few will be able to match what he has done. He has played on 24 Wellington Cup teams, representing this province at the highest level of men's amateur golf. 9 of those appearances were consecutive, from 1989 to 1997. He played on 3 mid-amateur provincial teams for golfers over 40, and was on the 1999 foursome that was the first Nova Scotian squad to win a Canadian team golf championship. For a record 30 consecutive appearances, Graham played in each Nova Scotia Amateur Championship from 1972 until 2001, only stopped by illness. He won 3 times in 1972, 73, and 1979, and was runner-up a record 7 times. Only 3 golfers have won more provincial amateur titles, and Graham is only one of 5 golfers to successfully defend his title. For 30 years, Graham played in every Canadian Amateur Golf Championship from 1968 to 1998, making the cut 24 times in those 30 appearances, a mark of unsurpassed consistency. Nova Scotian golfer has played in more international championships, 5 British amateurs, the Scandinavian Match Play Championship, Swedish International Open, then part of the European Tour, and 2 German amateurs. Graham was runner-up in the 1987 Bermuda Amateur Championship. But that is only one part of this man, Graham Macintyre. Jerry McMillan, one of the province's golfing greats, was a partner of Graham's on Wellington Cup teams and a foe in approximately 1 zillion Nova Scotia amateurs. And he recalls one of those down-to-the-wire battles.
Graham and I came down the stretch. I had, I think, a 3-shot lead with 4 holes to go, and I basically choked coming in, and we ended up tied, and we go down the first playoff hole, and it was a par 5, and he hit a second shot up very close to the green, but he was stymied, dead stymied by a tree, and you know, he just kind of accepted his fate, and I think he was more happy for me to have won. He'd won it before a couple of times, and I think he was happy for me to win that time, and you know, most people would have been very upset with the ill luck that he had, and yet he accepted it all in stride, and you know, didn't let it bother him. That was Graham.
Graham is a private individual. You can clap on that. That's a great clip. I think Jerry was talking about the first time he ever won the amateur. Would that be right? 76, around there? Yeah. Graham is a private individual and has battled illness in the last couple of years, but that hasn't stopped him from playing golf. Just a few weeks ago, he was in the top 20 at a tournament in Nova Scotia, shooting a pair of 75s. His partner, Catherine Fitzsimmons, talks of the positive attitude that is helping her man beat cancer.
I'd have to say, of all his accomplishments that he has, to me, I'm the most proud of how he fought this last year. He's never complained. He's never said, why me? It's just we took take one day at a time and try to be positive. We were in the hospital when he had his bone marrow transplant, and if anybody's been through one, it's not a pretty sight to watch your spouse or for the person to suffer through it. And I was sitting in the chair one day and the golf was on TV, and he said, when I get better, I'm going back and I'm playing the British Amateur. So I knew already that his mind had changed. He knew he was going to beat this obstacle that came in our way. And so I said to him, I said, well, you're going to be well enough to play next year. He goes, no, it'll be the year after, because, see, Graham would have to plan how much he was going to practice in order to get there.
Small in size and quiet in demeanor, Graham Macintyre was always called Mouse by his golfing confreres. He has always played golf with anyone, the scratch golfer and the high handicapper, just to have a game. Now, Catherine talks of the first time she played golf with Graham Macintyre.
He asked me to play 9 holes later in the week, so the first thing I did was get on a phone and call my brother Michael, say, guess who I'm playing with? Because he said, who? I said, Graham Macintyre. He goes, Graham Macintyre doesn't play with girls. That's what my brother said. My brother idolized him for a good many years. So it was nice. Yeah, we had, there was nobody on the course, and my first ball off the tee went long and straight, and he just looked back and he goes, do you always hit them like that?
He took up golf at 10 years of age in 1958 as a student of teaching professional Cliff Seaver at Abercrombie. And like so many wonderful golfers, Graham caddied, worked in the pro shop, and snuck out on the course to play early in the day and late, hitting balls till his hands were raw. He carried a 27 handicap to his first provincial tournament and shot a 205 over 2 rounds. 5 years later, he won his first junior provincial title. He defended it the next year, becoming only the 4th golfer to win back-to-back junior titles. When he moved to senior status in 1968 and started his run of 30 straight provincial amateur appearances, he beat Peter Hope by 1 shot to take his first title. That was the start of a career that is still going today as the 58-year-old continues to play at a great level, and here again is Jerry McMillan.
Always very consistent, always a fine ball striker, down the middle, on the greens, and a good putter. A guy that's not going to beat himself out there on the golf course, but a fellow that, just excels in all parts of the game, really.
His friend and noted amateur golfer Doug Roxborough says, quote, Graham is respected by his fellow competitors and has been the perfect ambassador for Nova Scotia. And we caught up with Doug Roxborough in Vancouver.
Graham and I have just been friends for a long, long time. He did spend some time out here in the 1970s for a couple of years, and our family sort of adopted him a little bit. He'd come over to the house, for dinner, and I think he must have liked Atlantic salmon better than Pacific. He didn't stay here very long. He went back home, but he's just been a great friend, a great competitor.
He is a man who has won every major club invitational, served as president of Ashburn Golf Club, assisted at junior clinics, was an associate governor of the RCGA, and has been honored by that body for his outstanding contribution to golf in Nova Scotia, the only Nova Scotian to be so honored. He was inducted into the Pictou County Sport Hall of Fame and was named Nova Scotia Golfer of the Year 3 times. As an athlete, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Graham Macintyre to the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame. The presenters to the stage, please, from Wood Gundy, sponsor Wood Country, Don Monroe. And to present the pin is a man who, besides being a golfing competitor and companion, has been a true friend during the last 2 years, Ed Duma. I guess, first of all, the generic question, what's it like now to be a member of the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame?
Well, it's really quite an honor to join the fellow golfers that are in the Hall of Fame, Peter Hopes and Eddie Crowells, and plus all the other athletes. You hear the tremendous stories here tonight, and it's just very, very honored.
I know you have a lifelong passion for this game. How has the game helped you through the last 2 years in particular?
Well, I think it's just I've always been, I guess, a fighter and accepted challenges head on, and I think golf certainly, as a lot of the other sports, teach you a lot about yourself and how to improve yourself and your character, and certainly that's helped through the last year and a half or so.
You played in Clare about 3-4 weeks ago, the Jack Frost.
Yes, yeah.
How'd you hit him?
Not bad. I was a little short, but straight, and I exceeded my expectations there, so that really buoyed me up for the rest of the year, I think.
I know Jerry McMillan's here tonight, and you guys have had a lot of great battles. What's it meant to have a guy like that as a competitor and friend?
Oh gosh, Jerry's been, he's been a great friend and competitor over the years, and as the Dave Webbers, and there's so many of them in Nova Scotia that I've grown up with, and and that's, I guess, that's one of the best parts of the whole game too, the people you meet and the friendships you make for years to come.
Everyone we talked to, final question, said you're a really fun and easygoing guy to play with. And how important to you has the etiquette of the game been to uphold that and to sort of impart that to those with whom you play?
Oh, I think that's a nice part of the game. I think the etiquette and you're pulling for your fellow competitors as much as you're trying to win yourself. So I think that's part of golf.
Well, I know that short and straight will become long and straight very soon.
I hope so.
Congratulations to you, and just best of luck.
Thank you.
Gray Macintyre, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.